The Nebraska Department of Ag, in partnership with Nebraska Extension and Legal Aid of Nebraska, held daily sessions here at Husker Harvest Days this year aimed at farm succession and transition planning. One of the presenters there was Nebraska Extension's Dave Goeller. We talked with Dave after one of the discussions and started by asking when a farmer or rancher should start to think about farm succession.
Well, I don't think you can start too early. You surely want to be thinking about it if you have a successor that you're already pretty confident is interested in coming back into the business, which could be 40s, even 50s. If you haven't chosen someone by the time you get into that 60, 70 time frame, you may be looking at someone that maybe even is not part of your family. You may be looking as I did. The successors for our farm business are actually neighbor boys that have taken over, and they're farming and renting our business, using some of our machinery, some of that. So it depends on kind of your own situation. I wouldn't say any two situations are identical, but it would give you a guideline there.
So what's the advice to the person who's starting to think about it? How do you go about doing it?
You have some decisions to make. One of them has to do with, has that individual that is coming back or considering to come back, have they been compensated for the contributions that they've already made? And if they have been, then I don't think you need to make special considerations in your estate plan for them. That's one consideration. The other consideration is you have to double check this financial viability now. We have numbers that have changed significantly in the last couple of years, and do those numbers still work? I don't think you can or should guarantee success for that successor, but I think they should at least have a fighting chance to make this thing work, and so the financial viability is another key part of it.
You said something yesterday that was concerning to a son who had a parent in the audience, and that was you don't have to treat all heirs equally or all sons and daughters equally. Why is that?
Well, I'm a believer in what I call the golden rule, that meaning the people with the gold make the rule. And what's important to the people with the gold, in other words, the owner of those assets, the owner of that farm business, is do you favor succession? Do you want this farm or this ranch business to continue down the road regardless? If that's the case, you may not be able to treat each child equally from a dollars and cents standpoint. So you may not be able to treat them equally if you really want to make succession happen. On the other hand, if you have a large business, a lot of assets, maybe some non-farm assets, and you can treat them all equally, great. I'm certainly not opposed to that, but you may have to make a choice, and there's times when you do.
Am I also correct in saying that one of the things you think when you say retire isn't that you have to step away from the farm, but rather you're not the one who's making all the decisions anymore?
Yeah, the management is, I think, the transition of the management, the passing the baton of the day-to-day decision-making authority. That's really key. If the individual that owns it continues to make all the management decisions, until they're 95 years old, the chance of that next individual succeeding has really been diminished because of the fact they've never had the chance to do it. And so when I say retire, I'm talking about retiring from the management making authority and passing that day-to-day stuff on, not necessarily the day-to-day labor. If you want to get out there and work day-to-day from sun up to sundown, that's great. As far as I'm concerned, I think most people would agree with that. But deciding the management, if you're making all the management choices, that's a pretty difficult thing for the next successor to make happen.
You'll have some workshops coming up in early 2016 that will better help people understand and plan for this. Tell me about those.
Right. We're doing workshops. We have a USDA grant in conjunction with the Department of Ag, the university, the Center for Rural Affairs, and the Nebraska Legal Services and the hotline. We'll be doing workshops around the state. We're hoping to do 12 to 15 of those. If people are interested and would like to attend, simply call the Nebraska Farm Hotline. That's 800-464-0258. And tell them that you're interested in those workshops. When we have the schedule or when there's one near them, they'll be called and identified as one of those workshops they can attend. So, and it's pretty much a 9 to 9:30 till 3 in the afternoon type of thing. So it's a pretty full day, talking about succession, estate planning, a lot of the tools, business structures, those kinds of things.
We'll put more resources from the farm succession presentations on the Market Journal website if you're interested in finding more information.